Hey, it's Michael Reese here. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short little video. I wanted to shoot it for you. I have an interesting, maybe an insight that I had recently after speaking to a couple agents. As you may or may not be aware, I wrote a book called Inside Sales Predictability. I was inspired to write this book as a result of a year that I had building a real estate team from scratch. On January 2nd, 2016, I literally started a real estate team where we built it from 0 to 268 transactions. And the funny thing is, most of you may be aware, is when you start a real estate team, and let's say in January 2nd, you might get a listing on your 14th day. Most of us, if we're first starting, maybe your first month, then you got to get that home in the MLS. That home has to then get showings. The showings have to turn into offers, and those offers then have to have time to go into escrow and schedule to close. So if you start a real estate business from scratch, your first quarter is not going to be the greatest quarter, even if you know everything that you know to do and you're successful. So the interesting part of this story was going into October of that year, a couple interesting things happened. One was, first of all, we had over $500,000 that was scheduled to close. So that was $500,000 in gross commission income on the book scheduled to close, and that was October 1st for the month of October. Now, as many of you may or may not be aware of, one of the things that happened, if you've read the book and you've kind of kept up with us, is in that month, we went into that month where we actually had this transition period where most of our closings came from opportunities that we nurtured, which enhanced our philosophy and methodology, if you will, around building predictability in your business. Building predictability meaning we went into the month with the pipeline of people that wanted to sell their home. Well, I was reached, and just for clarity, we built that pipeline through having inside sales agents. Those were people that were dedicated. We did all of this focused on the listing side of the business. So a lot of people that I get the opportunity to talk to and work with, they're trying to grow their business, and a lot of the times they're in different stages. Some people really have the desire to quit working with buyers, and they want to start working more with the listings because we all know that listings give us leverage, and that allows them to be able to get a better return on their time. And I can't blame them. I did the same thing, and you probably are watching this video because you would like to get more listings. And so a couple things that happened is, first of all, that year that we grew the business from scratch, we focused on 8 agents, grew it to 2.2 million. And for that calendar year, I learned a couple things. And one of our first agents did 52 transactions. The second agent was, and he had no experience. His experience was, literally zero. We put him through real estate school, the whole kit and caboodle. Another guy that came on board with us was actually a little bit more experienced. He had been in real estate for 10 years, sold in 2 separate markets, but he had never sold more than 18 homes. And the interesting thing that when we look back and reflect on the course of that year is not only were we successful with helping these people, there was a couple really fundamental principles that took place. See, the relationship that we had was that we would actually focus on all the marketing, which would be building the funnel, managing, generating the leads or the prospects, creating qualified opportunities, which we referred to as sales qualified leads. And we did that through focusing on follow-up. We developed this actual program that we now call our perfect 20-day follow-up plan. And the reason all that was important was one real important thing that I think we took out of it. The reason it was important was conversion. Conversion was important, and we didn't focus on cost per lead. We actually focused on cost per contact. So imagine this particular scenario. You generate 100 leads, okay? And you call 2 of them, or maybe you call all 100 and you speak to 2 of them. Well, you are going to have a cost per conversation. Now, in theory, you might be talking to somebody else about the quality of your marketing by cost per lead, but the real thing that people don't know is that fortune's really made in the follow-up. And that's why we dedicated an ISA for every single one of those individuals. What's been brought to my attention is a lot of people aren't in the position to hire an ISA. And so we were able to take our cost per conversation and instead of thinking, okay, we need to generate more leads, no, cost per conversation takes into consideration not only the generation of leads. Think about this. You generate 100 leads and let's say the cost per lead's $2, but you talk to nobody. Well, the cost per lead is not indicative of if you were going to be successful, if you were going to get face to face with the homeowner. Now, if you're paying for the lead and you give it to two, half of them to one agent and the other half to another agent, and one agent calls one time, one agent calls two times, one agent calls five times. One agent might call and text and Facebook message. The thing is we knew at the end of our what we developed was a key metric. Our economic driver was 34 conversations equaled an appointment. So what we definitely didn't want to do was, based upon no structured follow-up plan, we didn't want to create the only solution to our problem and say, hey, listen, let's just generate more leads. We need more leads. What's our cost per lead? No, we wanted to take in the entire sales and marketing responsibility. Marketing was responsible for generating opportunities. Sales was responsible for taking that opportunity, vetting it out, determining timing or motivation, and then setting a qualified appointment. And so in your business, there's a couple things that I've learned that the really best thing to do is segment the roles. You know, if you've ever read the book by Mary Lou Tyler, she wrote the book Predictable Revenue with Aaron Ross, and they built Salesforce.com and helped build their sales and marketing methodology to the first 100 million. And what she believed was that you should have a segmentation in roles when it comes to outside sales, the person actually face-to-face with the customer, and the person who's really responsible for developing those opportunities. The problem is that we got to face it. A lot of agents are just not ready to make that investment. And so during this entire time of building this real estate brokerage, my partner, Jeff Kiani, and he was really the guy that was behind the scenes making it all happen, working with the ISAs, making sure the dials happened. We had a conversation. And he said, Mike, you know, the thing that we used to look at in our model was we really wanted every one of our partners to do a minimum of 50 listing transactions. That was our goal. And he said, I think we should come out with a program. I think based upon, you know, him calling for other top teams around the country and taking the feedback and really meeting a lot of people that were in a position that they couldn't make the investment, but they had the skill set, just like everybody else. And he said, I think we should come out with a course. Let's call it 52 and 52. And I said, what would we teach them? And we literally spent about 2 months and we developed this program. And the program simply is designed to help an agent like yourself develop a system, a process where we cover everything. We cover the skills, we cover the tools, we cover the best practices, we cover the training, we cover this everything that you need that we feel like we were able to do for an agent with an ISA. We brought all of that training. I mean, this training would be invaluable if you have an ISA. This training would be invaluable if you're just trying to move from the buy side to the sell side. Said differently, this training is invaluable for anybody that's looking for a predictable way to scale their listing business. So he took all of the things that we did. People had literally paid $10,000 to $12,000 to send their ISAs to us to train them. And he was fully responsible for making sure that all those people came here for 4 days, total immersion, and go home and land and be ready to actually put deals on the books. We have countless of testimonials where people have now scaled their ISA's department. So whether you're looking to hire an ISA or you just want to know what is it that these teams do to get listings and what should I be doing to really focus on now transitioning my business to the listing business. If you are wanting to become the dominant listing agent in your market, I want you to take a look at this new program. And the program's called 5252. 52 listings in 52 weeks. We are literally going to be there with you every week. In fact, here's exactly what you're going to get in the 52 program. You're going to get exactly this.